Good afternoon, ladies and gents. My name's Chris Evans. I'm the Managing Director of Birimian. Today I'm going to talk to you about our Goulamina Lithium project in southern Mali. Please be aware there's going to be some forward-looking statements in this presentation. In July last year, Birimian released a pre-feasibility study into our Goulamina Lithium project, and it showed absolutely fantastic results. We had a net present value of just under $1 billion Australian dollars, around 920 million. A mine life of 16 years based off our maiden reserve of 31 million tonnes, and a resource of 103 million tonnes. Now those two, or the ore body with those numbers, puts it just outside the top 5 in the world. And in fact, it's the most significant nearest term unencumbered hard rock lithium mine in the world at present. Hard rock lithium project, I should say. Our operating costs came in at C1 cost of 374 Australian dollars per tonne. That's free on board out of the port of Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire. A little bit about Birimian. We've got about 64 million shares on issue. Share price is hovering around 17 cents, and that puts our market cap right around $45 million. We've also got some gold interests in Mali, off some of which we derive a royalty. Now, the pre-feasibility study I referred to before, it showed an internal rate of return of close to 50%. The capital cost is estimated at $200 million US, and that includes a contingency of around 23%, which is more than appropriate for a detailed PFS level study that we did. Payback period's 2.6 years, and the C1 cash cost $280 US a tonne. And that's more than comparable with any of the recent hard rock projects that have been brought into production in the world, such as the 2 Australian projects in Pilgangoora. Late last year, Birimian had a significant board and management refresh. We recruited a number of new board members, including myself as MD, Brendan Borg, Mark Hepburn, and most recently Alastair Cowden as the chairman. Every one of the board members now has recent direct experience in either lithium, developing mines, or finance. Everyone's skills are going to be brought to bear, and we're now in a position to really take off the Goulamina Lithium project. If any of you know the history of the company, this is in stark contrast to perhaps the qualifications previously held in the company. Since the appointment of the new board began in November last year, there's been a number of significant developments. There's the appointments that I referred to before. Most significantly, 2 weeks ago, we received our environmental permit to mine at Goulamina. Now, in Mali, there are only 2 requirements, or 2 permitting requirements in order to commence mining. The first one is the environmental permit, which we've received, and the second one is the exploitation or mining permit. Within the next week or 2, we're going to submit our exploitation permit, and from there, the guideline approval time is 3 months. So within the near term, we expect to have our exploitation permit, and in fact all our permitting complete for the Goulamina Lithium project. Last week we also issued an ASX release that gave a bit of direction for the company in order to reach that goal of commencing construction. That ASX release had these 4 priorities in there, and they're really focused on the need to raise $200 million to enable this project to happen. So first of all, there's the resource and reserves. They're already fantastic headline numbers that we have. What we need now is a little bit more confidence, so any financier will be looking in great detail at the composition of the resources. In particular, there's none in the measured category so far. We think with a little bit of work over the next couple of months, we can vastly improve the resource and reserve. During the PFS, we showed a recovery in the process plant of around 70%, We know from contemporary lithium projects and further test work that we've conducted that 80% should be more than achievable. So we're looking forward to trying to achieve that in the next couple of months. And then infrastructure is vitally important for any financier. So first of all, the roads. Currently, the PFS shows us trucking our product around 1,000 kilometres south to the port of Abidjan. That's still going to be the case, but because of the 1,000 kilometre distance over what are very good established roads, that makes up about a third of our operating cost. So any optimisations we can have there is really going to make the project finances look a lot better. And the other one is water. Every contemporary lithium hard rock project that's been built in the last 5 years has underestimated the amount of water. We've got a very good solution in the PFS, but we need to strengthen that and find alternate sources. I'll skip over the detail of our resource and reserve. This simply shows the strong mineralisation we have. The box in the north is our reserve, 31 million tonnes. The central white box is the remainder of our resource, and you can see further mineralisation to the south, which we haven't yet drilled. In order to seek finance, we need strong offtake partners. We're currently talking to we're currently signed agreements with 2 organisations in China. The first one is Changsha Research Institute, CRIM, which is a subsidiary of China Minmetals. We've signed a letter of intent with them to firstly enter an EPC style contract for construction, and they're also willing to talk about offtake and finance as well. They're currently doing some due diligence on our project. Also, at virtually the same time in December last year, we signed a non-binding MOU with General Lithium. They're a lithium conversion plant based in China who are interested in taking around 50% of our offtake. They're also conducting due diligence at present. Technical aspects of our PFS were relatively simple. Our process flow sheet is the same as other contemporary hard rock lithium projects. We crush material down to about 5 millimetres, put it through dense media, from which we get a 6% product. The middlings from that dense media goes into a ball mill and then a flotation circuit, from which we get a fine product, also at 6%. Here's examples of the 2 products we've produced in the lab so far. They'll be combined together for material handling properties and then trucked to Abidjan. This slide comments on the demand for lithium. At the moment, prices are a little bit soft, if you're aware of the lithium market, and also there are rumours of oversupply, which we don't believe, by the way. What we do believe is that our projected sale time or first production of 2021 will match ideally with the anticipated up spike in lithium demand. This graph shows electric vehicle sales in China in January 2019. So they were well above that of the year before, and the overall vehicle sales market in China at the time was declining. And this is a very interesting one. This is produced by Albemarle, and what it shows is, and for those of you who know Albemarle, they're the largest lithium producer in the world. This graph shows, by their own admission, how they continually underestimate the demand of lithium in the world. 2015, they estimated by 2025 the world demand would be about 400,000 tonnes. They're now predicting over 1 million tonnes per annum of LCE. Mali itself is a very stable mining jurisdiction. There's 13 gold mines operating in the country, and it's an easily transparent and followable process in order to get our mining approvals through to approval. Finally, to wrap up, this is our project timeline. We're optimising the 4 points I discussed in the next 4 to 5 months. We're going to complete our definitive feasibility study by early next year, make a final investment decision by mid next year, and then commence production in 2021. Thank you very much.